babies and rapings. Israel murdered their own people on October 7th.
دولة لا مقام لها على أرضنا. إحنا هذه الدولة لابد أن نزيلها، لأنه بالفعل هي تعتبر كارثة أمنية وعسكرية وسياسية للأمة العربية والإسلامية، يجب أن تنتهي. لذلك احنا لا نخجل من نقول ذلك بكل قوة، انه إسرائيل لازم نأدبها، وحنأدبها مرة ثانية وثالثة، ومش هذا حتكون طوفان الأقصى أول مرة، لا حتكون ثانية وثالثة ورابعة، لأنه احنا لدينا إصرار ولدينا قرار ولدينا إمكانيات أن نقاتل نعم. وأن نحارب، لكن كما قلت لك بدنا ندفع ثمن. نعم احنا مستعدين، معلش بدي أقول لك بشكل واضح، احنا اسمنا شعب الشهداء.
Calling Hamas a terrorist organization is ridiculous, racist, and plays into genocidal propaganda that is flooding our media and that we should be doing everything possible to combat.
Imagine your 12-year-old child gets kidnapped from your home. And once he finally gets to the country they kidnapped him to, he's forced to watch what happened on the 7th of October and relive everything that happened to him on that day. And then imagine, after he starts crying, they hold him at gunpoint. Because why are you crying? Why are you bothering us? Why did we kidnap you, remove you from your safe haven, and you're crying? How dare you? But now imagine being a person who justifies that. Imagine being a person who cries out for innocent children of Gaza, but justify what's happening to innocent children in Israel. Is it starting to sound delusional to you yet? Is it starting to sound crazy to you yet?
I support the right of Palestinians to resist occupation, including through Hamas, the armed wing of the unified Palestinian resistance.
هذا خداع لفظي واضح، وبالتالي عندما نقول انه هذه مقاومة سلمية وهذه مقاومة سلمية بنخدع الشارع. هذه مقاومة سلمية مدعومة بقوة عسكرية وقوة أمنية ودعم شعبي عظيم.
خيبر يا يهود، خيبر يا يهود، جيش محمد بدأ يعود، جيش محمد بدأ يعود. فلسطين من البحر إلى النهر، ولن نعترف بإسرائيل. نعم تكبير.
As an Arab, asking with this context to condemn Hamas is very anti-Arab racist.
بنيامين نتنياهو الآن الشعب الإسرائيلي بيحاكمه، حكومته بتحاكم الشعب الإسرائيلي. من يحاكم قادة حماس إذا اتضح أن هناك خطأ؟ 10,000 ضحية، 12,000 ضحية، 30,000 حتى الآن 30,000 جريح، المفقودين. شنو الإنجاز اللي تحقق؟ هو الإنجاز اللي تحقق هو ترهيب للناس في السوشيال ميديا، لا تتكلم خلاص. يعني التبرير الآخر الناس اللي تقتل والناس اللي يتسببون بقتلها من أطفال ومن نساء ومن رجال، علشان ما يبي محاسبة يقول والله راحوا شهداء. من يقرر الشهادة؟ من يقرر الشهادة؟ يعني أليس الأولى والأجدى أن يكون في تعليم وحضانة لهؤلاء الناس بدل من أخذ قرارات عشوائية؟ هذا اللي قتلهم، هذا اللي يقول راحوا شهداء، لما يصير القصف ينزل بالأنفاق. هذا اللي قتلهم، اللي يقول شهداء، هو لما صار القصف ينزل بالأنفاق تحت. اللي أطلق الصاروخ أطلق من قبو ولا خرج وقعد. ليش ما يروح شهيد هذا؟ ليش ما يجيبون عائلاتهم وأولادهم إذا كانوا يقولون عن الشهادة؟ ليش هم ما يستشهدون؟ أولا ليش لازم تموت الناس وتتهدم بيوتها عليها؟ شفتوا التضليل؟ قادة حماس يجب أن يحاكموا على الحقيقة الخطيئة اللي ارتكبوها بحق الشعب الفلسطيني. أول شيء بيحررون الأقصى، والحين يتصايحون بس وقفوا هدنة، الوقف إطلاق النار ونفك الرهاين. هذا انتصار، هذا غش للشعوب العربية، وبالتالي يجب أن تحاكم القيادات. السؤال من يحاكم القيادات؟ أبو مازن يحاكمهم؟ هم تمردوا على أبو مازن. من يحاكمهم؟ إيران تحاكمهم؟ إيران سعيدة بهذا الموضوع. يحاكمهم الله سبحانه وتعالى. كل الدماء اللي ماتت وانهدمت بيوتها من أطفال، وهذا برقبة هنية ومن شايع هنية.
The notion that this was a massacre of Jews is a fabricated narrative. Many of those killed on October 7th,
Thank you, ma'am. Your time is up.
including children, were killed by the IDF. An amendment condemning Hamas is bald propaganda meant to...
Thank you. Your time is up.
To hear them complain about Hamas violence is like listening to a wife beater complain when his wife finally stands up and fights back.
ما نحن فتحنا النار عليهم بالأول، نحن ضربنا عليهم أول صواريخ. ما راجع التاريخ من وقت ما صار طوفان غزة تواريخ. طيب إنه إذا نحن عم نحركش فيهم بعدين إنه ضربني وبكى وسبقني واشتكى وشو هالأخبار هودي؟
Question. Did anyone else notice that those who oppose this resolution are old white supremacists?
نرحب بالموت. الفلسطيني بيحمل طفل على كتفه وفي عصبة على جبينه مكتوب عليها، كاتب أبوه للطفل على جبينه مشروع شهيد. مشروع شهيد، يعني واحد بقول أنا بدي ابني يموت. الأم تقول أنا بخلف 6 أولاد مشان 3 يموتوا في الثورة. أنا بخلف أولاد مشان يروحوا شهداء. هذا مش موجود في العقل.
Liberal people are for self-determination, sympathize with Palestinians. Everybody has the right to self-determine except we. We're the only people in the world to whom it is not given the right for self-determination. We have to be, evidently, minorities all over the world, and we have no right for independence. Our quarrel with the Arabs is not a quarrel for a piece of land. It's not for territory. It's not for anything concrete. They just refuse to believe that we have the right to exist at all. Pull back to the borders of 67, and then there will be peace. We were in the borders of 67. Why was there war? And immediately after the war, we said, let us sit down and negotiate peace. They didn't do it. In one of our kibbutzim right across Jordan, that has been shelled day and night. The father with a little boy of 4 was in the shelter. The child was scared and cried. Father said, look, don't worry. These are not the shells from the other side. These are our shells. The child said, do they have shelters for the children on the other side? Because, you know, the children are not to blame that their fathers are Fatah. It's difficult. And that's why we value life, not only our own. Just we value life. This is our strength. Maybe one can say this is our weakness because Arab leaders are not so sensitive to the very question of life, of having people alive instead of dead.
There's been a lot of atrocity propaganda ranging from claims of beheaded babies to mass rape.
I remember hundreds of thousands of people proclaiming from the rooftops about Me Too. But in this case, they ignore Israeli women. They don't believe Israeli women were raped by Hamas terrorists. Even though we have witness testimony talking about how these scum of the earth passed Israeli women around as they gang raped them. Zaka, which is an Orthodox volunteer organization that collects and recovers dead bodies, it reported that dead Israeli women showed signs of abuse, were naked, visible trauma, but yet the world says no, this didn't happen. And I have to say this one word to these people. Sick. You are sick. You are disgusting. You are pitiful. You're disgusting people on this planet. Believe Israeli women. Believe them because they deserve to be believed.
Hamas is not a terrorist organization just because the U.S. and Israel deems it so. Hamas is a resistance organization that is fighting for the liberation of Palestinian people and their land.
Why we cannot give Hamas what they want? Because Hamas is not only political terrorist group. Hamas is a religious terrorist group. If it was only political terrorist group, then we can put enough pressure on them where they get to the point where they compromise, drop their violence, then participate in the political process. But Hamas, you cannot bend them because they prefer to die and not to drop their ideology. They think that they are holy warriors, that their holy and sacred mission in life is to destroy Israel, force 10 million Israelis to relocate as a condition to build their Islamic state. Hence, we cannot give them what they are asking for. Yahya al-Sinwar, an ex-prisoner that was released in the Gilad Shalit prisoner swap a few years ago, along 1,000 other Hamas prisoners. Soon later, after his release, he became the Hamas leader in Gaza Strip. Today, he orchestrated this attack on October 7th with one goal in his mind, not only Jewish slaughter and fear and violence that he meant to bring to the world. In fact, he beheaded somebody in prison for suspicion of collaborating with Israel using the sink of the bathroom. Merciless. This is the guy who's in charge of Hamas in Gaza today, and he's under the ground, most likely under Al-Shifa hospital, taking patients of a hospital as human shields to protect himself.
Oh, hi. Hi, we'd like to rebrand our organization. Okay, well, that's what we do here. Rebranding is our forte. Great. The plan is to brainwash the world so we can take over it. Cool. So how do we start? Well, first of all, tell me about yourself. Okay, so we're a globally recognized terrorist organization. Terrific. We'll have to change that to something a little bit more woke. What exactly is your goal? Death to all Jews and anyone who gets in the way of that goal. Anyone? Yes. Even your own people? Primarily our own people. Okay, well, let's start with the title then. How about we exchange terrorist organization for something a little less intense? Maybe freedom fighters? Who doesn't like freedom? We don't. Don't worry about it. It's all about the marketing. And let's maybe change your goal to something that can be trendy on social media. Maybe a new trendy hashtag? Hashtag gas the Jews. Whoa, buddy. Something that liberals would like. How about free Palestine? You could say that you're fighting occupation. Do we still get to kill people? 100%, yeah. Oh, okay, then yeah, free Palestine, sure. So how do you usually achieve your goals? Massacres, beheading children, raping women, lighting people on fire, putting babies in ovens, suicide bombings, taking people hostage, the usual. Okay, well, let's alter that into acts of resistance. Oh, I like that, resistance. We also fire rockets into Israel daily. The issue is a lot of the rockets we fire fall in Gaza and kill Palestinians. Blame Israel. Well, thank you, this was great. We have to go back to our terrorism now. Freedom fighting. There you go. Hi. Hi, we'd like to rebrand our organization. Perfect, that's what we do here.